Hello and welcome to those of you joining us. We will give it a few minutes or maybe just a minute for folks to join today's webinar. I can see people coming in from the waiting room. Thank you all for being here today. All right. Well, in the interest of time, let's go ahead and get started. Again, welcome to everybody that's here today. This is our webinar, part of the pre-arrival series for new incoming international graduate students. Today's webinar is on student life and getting involved. We do want to take just a moment to welcome you all to our UC San Diego community. My name is Shauna Slepiota. I'm here from Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs. However, this webinar series is a joint effort from Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs and our International Services and Engagement Office. And we have lots of folks here from ISEO. It's definitely a partnership, could not do it without them. And we have lots of folks here that are able to help you all today, answer questions. You'll be hearing from them, lots of presenters. And let's go ahead and get a few introductions here from some of the folks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Grace Fuller. I use she, her pronouns. I serve as the Assistant Director of International Experience and Engagement at the International Services and Engagement Office, also commonly referred to as ISEO. And to echo Shauna, just such a warm welcome. It's so exciting for us to begin interacting and supporting with our incoming international graduate student population, and we're so glad you're here. I'll pass it over to my colleague, Marie.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marie Mama Paz Rivera, and I'm the Assistant Director for International Student Services at ISEO. Very excited to have you all join us and looking forward to welcoming you this fall. And I will pass it to Sai or Shauna. I don't know if you want to give
I
your.
can go.
Hi, I'm Sai Krishna Bhamiripati. I'm a graduate student. I'm a PhD student in biological sciences. I also serve as a graduate programs intern here at ISEO.
Wonderful. And we also have some additional special guests that are also on the call, and we'll have them introduce themselves a little bit later. So just a few reminders before we begin. For our attendees today, you are in listen-only mode. So while you can hear us, we are not able to hear you. The main feature that we'll be using today for question and answers is the Q&A feature that is in Zoom. You can also contact the ISEO office at icontact.ucsd.edu, and you can submit questions there to their team. And also, we are recording this webinar. You'll be able to view the recording of the webinar at inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. This is the latest webinar in a series of webinars that we've done. So please check out that site. You can look at the different offerings that have already taken place and watch those recordings. And then you can also watch this recording later if you would like to revisit the content. And this is just a quick little screenshot of a control panel. So just again showing you that if you have questions, we're asking you to use the Q&A feature. Now, you could put those questions in throughout the session if you would like, but we might not get to it until a little bit further along. So just know that if you put something into the Q&A. And now we'll do a little introduction to ISEO.
Thanks, Shana. Let's go to a brief introduction of ISEO, the International Services and Engagement Office, which is here to support you throughout your time at UC San Diego. Our team of expert staff supports and guides international students and scholars with their academic and personal goals and a successful transition to campus and student life and meaningful engagement with the university and the local community. So, whether it's a visa question or figuring out life in San Diego, we are the place to start. So, what does that look like in practice? ISEO offers a number of different services. First, there's the pre-arrival webinar support and orientation, which is actually what this webinar is. And we're also the office on campus that helps you maintain your status as an international student. And to do that, we offer virtual and in-person advising, process immigration documents, and a number of other services. And beyond all of that, we also run programs and events to help cultivate a globally engaged community here at UCSD. Our vision is to foster an inclusive and globally engaged university where all members of the international community have equitable opportunities to achieve their academic, personal, and professional goals, and to cultivate a culture of global citizenship. Let's talk a bit about the populations we serve. We are fortunate to have a really robust international community here at UC San Diego. We support over 10,000 international students, and that includes both currently enrolled students as well as students who are here working after graduation. We also have over 2,000 international faculty and scholars working here at UC San Diego. And along with those students and scholars, we support over 1,000 international family members during their time here. To do all of that, we work collaboratively across campus with a number of different partners to support our total service population of just under 14,000. So you are joining a really big and vibrant community. Let's take a moment to focus specifically on our international students. As you can see here, we have 8,000 currently enrolled international students with a pretty even split of around 4,000 undergraduate and 4,000 graduate students. You can see that the most popular academic departments as well as the top places of origin on the slide. But the big thing to note is that we have students coming over 100 different countries. So wherever you're coming from, you're joining a really robust and diverse international community here at UC San Diego. So on behalf of the International Services Engagement Office, welcome. We recognize that the journey that brought you here may not have been an easy one, and we applaud your courage and resilience. We are truly excited to have you join our UC San Diego community, and we look forward to the many ways in which you will enrich our campus and to the opportunities we'll have to learn from one another. We look forward to supporting you in the months before you arrive, and we can't wait to meet you once you get here. So, before we dive in, let me quickly walk you through what we'll be covering today. We've got a lot of great information packed into this session. We will start with some important reminders from ICO and graduate admissions, then talk about grad life and the programs and resources available to you. After that, we'll help you find your community on campus and cover some practical things like housing, transportation, and basic needs. And then toward the end, we will have a student panel with current graduate students who have been in your shoes and are in your shoes and can share what their experience has been like. So, with that, I'm going to pass it back to Shana, who is going to kick things off with some important first steps and reminders from graduate admissions.
Thank you so much, Sai. Right. I have just a few reminders here regarding graduate admissions. So you are all pretty familiar probably with your application portal at this time. That's where you would have applied and seen your admissions decision. So in a moment, I will show a screenshot, but I really want to encourage everyone to revisit their portal and take a look at what to-do items are listed there, specifically calling out the Statement of Legal Residence form. This form, this form is not required for all programs. So that's why it's really key to go into your portal, see if it's available, and if it's listed as a to-do item, to go ahead and take care of that. I want to point out that most students are provisionally admitted at this time, and that just means that you have additional documents that you need to submit. It's probably a transcript from your previous institution or maybe test scores, you can find a list of those documents in your portal. And again, I'll show you where to find that in just a moment. And if you have any questions about these items, please reach out via email to gradadmissions@ucsd.edu, and our team will assist you. So here's an example of an applicant portal. And we're not going to look at every tab. We're just focusing on the first two for today, home and your checklist items. And on the left-hand side, on the home side, you'll see some bullet points with 4 links. What to do immediately, before you arrive on campus, when you arrive on campus, and information specifically tailored for our international students. So please follow those links and go through to see what items you need to complete as an incoming student. And then at the bottom of that home screen, you can see where any forms that you need to complete will be listed. So please look at those. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, this is the tab that's your checklist items. So this screen is going to be personalized for you and whatever documents you need to complete. And there's also instructions on how to submit those documents on the bottom half of the form. And I do want to mention that degrees earned outside of the United States do need to have a course evaluation, and we have 2 companies that we work with, 2 options for companies to work with, WES and TEC. So you can pick one and work with them to submit your course evaluation. And again, just please contact Grad Admissions if you have questions about any of this information. All right. So again, I'm here from the Division of Graduate Education and Postdoctoral Affairs. We do call ourselves GEPA. And so if you hear that acronym, that is our office. And we work with graduate students across the campus. And I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we do for graduate students. So first of all, Grad Life is part of our office. And what you can do is find on the Grad Life website a series of resources that are really designed to help our graduate and professional students be successful. There's information for academics, financial, social. We also promote events that are relevant to graduate students, so I encourage you to take a look at our website. We also send out a weekly newsletter. I'm sorry, it's a monthly newsletter, as I'm saying that. It comes out on Mondays, and you just want to take a look at the newsletter when it comes out, because there's going to be events for graduate students. There could be fellowship deadlines or various programs that we want you all to be aware of. So know that that newsletter comes out, and really encourage you to check it out. We also have our Grad Life event calendar. This is also on our website. And it's going to be a list of events that, again, are tailored to graduate students. So that's a good one to check out. Now you can take a look on our website and see what's available, but definitely after you begin your studies, you'll want to take a look and see what's available. Our office runs the online graduate student orientation. This takes place through Canvas, which is a platform that UC San Diego uses. Information about our online orientation will be sent a little bit later on, probably around June or July. So just keep that in mind. And this is another place to find really great resources and information for you all. So when it becomes available in the summer, I hope that you take a look. Then lastly, we do have our UCSD Grad Life Instagram account. We post all kinds of different opportunities here. And again, you can start to follow us now if you would like, just to get a sense of what's happening on campus for graduate students. So please feel free to follow us if you are interested. And I think I'm passing it back to Sai.
That's right. Thanks, Shana. So now you've heard about grad life and all the great things GEPA has going on. Let me take you through some of the resources and programs that we have on the ISEO side. So these are specifically designed with our international community in mind. So I think you'll find a lot here that's relevant to you. Next slide, please. Our signature programs, or called I programs, are typically monthly recurring events that offer our touch points for international community to connect and engage with one another. You can see some of them on the slide here. Things like global coffee hours, English in action conversation tables, Triton Trekkers, which takes you on trips around San Diego, game night, craft events, and the International Student Advisory Council, or ISAC. If you're curious to learn more about any of these programs, visit iprograms.ucsd.edu. Next slide, please. And to stay on top of all of these programs and everything else happening on campus, you'll want to check out our iEvents calendar at ievents.ucsd.edu. This is where we post all of our upcoming events, workshops, info sessions, and social activities. It's a great way to see what's happening each week and find things to get involved in. I would highly recommend bookmarking the iEvents calendar right away. Next slide, please. And this one I'm really excited to share with you because I actually lead the Grad Pals program. Grad Pals is a peer mentorship program that matches incoming graduate students with current graduate students at UC San Diego, most commonly within your same department. The goal is to help you settle in by giving you someone you can reach out to with non-academic questions, get support from during those first few weeks, and just ease your transition into graduate life. So if you're interested in signing up as a mentee, you can scan the QR code on the screen or just email iprograms@ucsd.edu with any question, and I'd love to get you all matched up. Another resource I want to make sure you know about is our Surf Check guide. This was created for students by students, and it covers the most frequently asked questions that international students have when coming to UC San Diego. Things like housing, arranging transportation from the airport to campus, setting up a phone account, a bank account, and more. It's really a practical guide that will walk you through a lot of the logistics of getting set up here. And you can find it at the link which will be posted in the chat. And I'd really recommend giving it a read before you arrive. So we've talked about the programs and resources ISEO has for you. But one of the most important things you can do when you first get here is find your community. And grad school is so much better when you have people around you who share your interests or your background. So let me walk you through some of the ways you can do that at UC San Diego. UC San Diego has a number of community resource centers on campus, and they're just a sample of a huge diversity in our campus community. They create a welcoming and holistic learning environment for everyone, and you can see some of these listed on the slide, namely the Black Resource Center, Cross Cultural Center, Apimeda, the Women's Center, the Intertribal Resource Center, LGBT Resource Center, the Raza Resource Centro, and they all of these offer activities, events, and resources to connect students, staff, faculty, and alumni to celebrate the cultural richness of our campus. Next slide, please. UC San Diego has a ton of student organizations you can join. Currently, we have around 690 registered student organizations, and you can filter them by undergraduate, graduate, or all categories. There's everything from cultural organizations to dance to educational, health, professions, media, music and performance, spiritual, change making, and a lot more. You can browse the full list at studentorg.ucsd.edu. So those were some of the ways in which you can find community at UC San Diego. I'm now going to pass it over to Juan, who's going to talk about SACNAS.
Yeah, thank you, Sai. Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Gonzalez. I'm excited to introduce SACNAS at UC San Diego. SACNAS stands for the Society of the Advancement of Chicanos, Hispanics, and Native Americans in Science. It's a national inclusive organization with over 150 chapters nationwide, dedicated to just supporting the success of underrepresented students in STEM. For professional development, our biggest event of the year is the Science Showcase, where both grad students and undergraduates present their research in posters and oral presentations and attend workshops that are applicable to their professional development journey. Then we also really focus heavily on us building a supportive community at UC San Diego. We hold monthly general body meetings where we create a space where people can meet each other, connect, build friendships, all while navigating their STEM career path. And of course, this is a national organization. And so the National SACNAS organization holds an annual NDI STEM conference where all chapters nationwide and industry partners come together. I've been there. It was truly inspiring to see how many professionals were there to actually help you. Fellowship leaders would actually come to me and present me ideas to collaborate with labs or travel scholarships that were applicable to my study, and I actually received them. So it truly was made to help students, aspiring scientists. And so if you'd like to stay connected, learn more about our events, you can follow us on Instagram, SACNAS_at UCSD, or email us in the same username, SACNAS@UCSD. And we'd love to have you join our organization.
Thank you. And next, we have Jocelyn talking about GPSA.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Jocelyn. I'm the Vice President of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion for GPSA, and GPSA stands for the Graduate and Professional Student Association on campus. This is an organization that is funded by you as a student. And when I say that we represent all graduate and professional students, the way that this works is we have a panel of, or a group of representatives from each department, and I serve on the executive side, so on the smaller council. And so what we do is we advocate for graduate students. We try to bring concerns that students have, like funding, housing, and well-being, and bring those to the UC administration and leadership. We have funding for conferences. We have funding for student orgs, such as the one that Juan just mentioned. And so we try to support students that are on campus and trying to build a community. And I know you'll be hearing from Jack later, who also participates in this program here in the panel, and he can share a little bit more about some of the work that we're doing on the side of the GPSA. So we encourage you to reach out. We'll drop a link for additional information.
Thank you, Juan and Jocelyn. Let's now move on to Kelsey and Carly to talk about graduate and family housing.
Hello, sorry, buddy. I was glitching for a second. Thank you, Sai. So we are part of GFH Connect, and you can go to the next slide, please. But what we do essentially is that we are tasked with putting on programming in our large community over on the east side of campus. So there's about 5,500 students residents that live there. So there are folks getting their secondary degree. Also includes those who have their dependents, relatives, children, and whatnot. And so our team, we are essentially here to support your well-being. School can be a lot, and so we are here to make it fun with the programming that we provide. Next slide as well, please. There's a bunch of different communities. So as you saw before, there was the Mesa Nueva, Mesa, OMS, Nuevo East, and then we also have Coast, which is closer to the water, of course. Again, in total, there are 5,500 residents that are in all the student communities, and this is all on the east side of campus. Next slide, please. Next slide again. Thank you so much. So our Connect model is this. So we're all about creating a sense of belonging, optimizing professional life skills, nurturing relationships and emotional wellness, navigating campus resources, encouraging physical health and well-being, as well as cultivating inclusion and teaching social responsibility. All the programs that we do is around this entire model. We want to make sure that folks are feeling seen, heard, welcomed. Our program is very holistic. Corelli will talk more about what programs we've done, marquees that we have. We have our community assistants as well, about 17 in total, to our community liaisons, in which I'll talk about that in a second, but they are the ones who are tasked with putting on their programs. And then my team and I were kind of consultants in supporting their vision to basically give out the programs that we do on a quarterly basis. So we do have two affinity groups, so two living learning communities. So one is the Black Graduate Experience. So this is for those who identify within the Black community. And if you don't, you are also welcome to join and to have an inclusive space with these folks to promote Black excellence and have the connection with other campus partners such as the Black Graduate and Professional Student Association and the Black Resource Center. And we also collaborate with GEPA as well. And we newly launched our Latinx Living Learning Community. So this is for those who identify within the Latinx community. And again, this is to promote Latinx connections and celebrate the scholarly experiences and creating lifelong experiences and relationships. They partner with RAZA, the Latinx Scholars Network, as well as GEPA as well. So again, you don't have to be Latinx to be a part of this community. If you want to join, you can. It's just, again, to promote the well-being of everyone who identifies in this community. And I'm going to pass it on to Corelli.
Awesome. So just examples of some programming we've done in the past is sustainability and book swap, Discover San Diego, Live Long Laugh, Paint and Sip and De-stress. So we make sure to provide various programming that is fun and relevant to you guys, just to follow the Connect model. So these are, and then we send out weekly newsletters every Tuesday.
Awesome.
Next slide, please.
Hello? Oh, okay, perfect. Awesome. And so we've done various campus partner collaborations. So we worked with the ceramics, we've done ceramics cafe at the craft center. We worked with UCPD in the past before to then pause and relax. So providing therapy dogs on campus. We've also done a lot of collaborations with UC Rec. Very popular. We've done bachata dance night and we've been revamping it, such as bringing salsa dance night on campus. So this is just some examples of the programming we've done in the past and currently. We also host quarterly major marquees. So these are one of our larger scale programs that pro staff are in charge of hosting. Events we've done in the past is Fall Around the World, where we celebrated cultural holidays celebrated around fall. We also done the Fall Family Fair, which celebrated students with dependents. Everyone was welcome. Celebrating fall vibes with pumpkins. We've also done Spring into San Diego and a Lunar New Year celebration for our marquees. So this is just some examples of things we do every quarter, highlighting some beautiful programming pictures and stuff we've done in the past. So if you become a graduate family resident, please step out and keep an eye out on your newsletter. Next slide, please. Awesome. Just to re-highlight, these are some campus partners we've worked with in the past, and some have been highlighted throughout this whole presentation. Shout out to Gapswell and GPSA. Awesome. So we do have applications opening on April 2026. So feel free to email us if you have any questions.
Thank you, Curly and Kelsey. Let's now transition to the next slide, please, which is transportation. Transportation is a big question for a lot of incoming students, so let me quickly walk you through your options. Next slide, please. There are three main types of public transit that you'll likely use as a student. This includes the UC San Diego shuttles or Trident Transit, public buses or MTS, and the trolley line, which you can use using your Pronto Pass. The Triton Transit is operated by UC Transportation and offers a fare-free on and off campus services. Shuttles operate on a fixed route services between campus shuttle stops and the UCSD shuttles. And public buses are operated by San Diego Metropolitan Transit System, or MTS, which offers more than 100 different bus routes. And the link to this will be posted in the chat. And then there's also the trolley system, which is operated by MTS. And in San Diego, we have three main trolley lines. And most students use the UCSD Blue Trolley line, and it's free for UCSD students. And it opened in November 2021. The Triton U-Pass is a program offered to UC San Diego students that grants unlimited access to regional MTS and NCTD mass transit bus and trolley routes during the fall, winter, and the spring academic quarters. And UC San Diego also has a partnership with Lyft, the rideshare service, to offer special promotions to UCSD users, and the Flex program, and at times free late night rides. And you can learn more about it at if you just Google UCSD Lyft or visit the link that will be posted in the chat. Next slide, please. So these are the three main types of public transit that you'll likely use as a student. So the UCSD shuttles, also called the Triton Transit, and these are operated by UCSD Transportation and are completely fare free. And they run in fixed routes between campus shuttle stops. You'll also see on the slide that the page numbers for the relevant sections have been mentioned in the surf check guide that I mentioned a little while ago. The other thing I want to highlight is the public buses, like I said, are operated by the San Diego Transit System or MTS, which has about 100 different routes between and throughout San Diego. And then I've also mentioned trolley and the MTS buses and the Lyft rideshare service, which is through associated students. You can access subsidized late night ride credits each quarter for rides that begin or end on campus. So with that, let me pass it over to Jack, who will talk about basic needs resources on campus.
Thanks so much, Sai. As Sai mentioned, my name is Jack Red, and I'm the chair of the GPSA Basic Needs Committee. And so what that means is that I am part of the many committees within the Graduate and Professional Student Association that are tasked with different roles of trying to provide for the success of graduate and professional students here at UC San Diego. So my committee in particular is the Basic Needs Committee. Our goal is to try to fund programs and advocate for initiatives that look out for the basic needs of graduate and professional students here at USC these basic needs are anything that are going to be able to help provide for your success here and make sure that you have a meaningful time in your graduate and professional program. Next slide, please. Great. So there's a myriad of basic needs resources here at UCSD, and so we have three in front of us right now that we can highlight. One is the Hub Basic Needs Center, and so this center is at UC San Diego. It serves undergraduate and graduate professional students. There are many resources for trying to address food, housing, and financial insecurity. Essentially, there's sometimes recently we just had workshops and kind of an information campaign on financial security here at UC San Diego. So what steps you can take to make sure that you are looking out for your kind of your finances while living here and going to graduate professional school. Additionally, there are resources that you can apply for additional funding for housing, emergency housing services, and additionally, there's other resources provided like hygiene products here at the Hub Basic Needs Center. Additionally, we have the Triton Food Pantry, which addresses specifically food security here at UC San Diego. This is run with the Hub Basic Needs Center and AS. And this is offered to all graduate and professional students, additionally undergraduates, to access the food pantry. You're given points each week to use these points and get boxed and canned goods at the food pantry. And additionally, there's produce that you can get as well that's distributed on a limit basis. Additionally, we have iTable. This is particular for international students. It's kind of a stopgap funding measure to provide for students that maybe need additional financial resources to pay for food. That is what iTable is for. Next slide, please. Additionally, we have other resources such as the grocery shuttle. The UC San Diego grocery shuttle is one of the shuttles run by UCSD that goes specifically to grocery stores and markets around La Jolla and Convoy Street in particular. It runs on the weekends and it's offered all day, and so it makes it easy and easily accessible and free resource to access kind of groceries and markets. Additionally, we have the Graduate Student CSA program. This is a program that my committee, the Basic Needs Committee in GPSA, manages. We partner with a local food cooperative here in San Diego called Food Shed, and we provide local organic, healthy, fresh produce to graduate professional students on a needs basis. Applications come out each quarter, and we try to provide for those students that express a high amount of need. Additionally, the Food Recovery Network, you can find the Food Recovery Network at other institutions. But we have a group here that works with them that goes to different establishments in the area and tries to recover food that may be about to hit expiry date or maybe is going to be tossed out but is still good to eat, etc. And this is just, again, trying to get food to the students that maybe need it. Next slide, please. In the interest of time, I'll do this quickly. We also have other organizations and groups here at UCSC that are focused on trying to ensure that we have access for all students to these resources that they require, such as the Rogers Community Garden. This allows students to grow food to feed themselves and others. Shea Cafe is a good resource, again, participating in food rescue and meal preparation. And then we also have organizing for grad professional students as workers, again, trying to fight for equal access to resources and equitable resources.
Thank you, Jack. And now let's get to what I think is the highlight of this webinar. As incoming students, you'd probably want to hear the most from people who have been in your shoes. So we have a panel of current graduate students who are here to share their experiences. We have prepared some questions for them, but we'd also love to hear from you. So feel free to use the Q&A feature to submit any questions that you may have. And time permitting, we'll try to get through as many as we can. So let me hand it over to the panelists to introduce themselves. Next slide, please. We can go in order. Jocelyn, do you want to go?
Oh, great. Yeah, I can go. Hi, everyone. As I briefly introduced myself earlier, my name is Jocelyn. I'm the Vice President for the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Office within GPSA, but I'm also a graduate student. So a lot of us here have dual roles while we're in graduate school. I'm part of the Biological Sciences department, and I'm a fifth-year PhD.
Hi, yes, as you just heard, Jack Redden, and I am also a PhD student, fifth year in the biological sciences as well. My roles have been in the GPSA, mainly as a representative for biology, but also as the basic needs chair. Happy to speak to any experiences I have in graduate school in the biological sciences, but participation in GPSA and representation, being a representative as well. And I'll pass it along to Juan.
Thank you. My name is Juan Gonzalez. I'm actually the graduate events coordinator for SACNAS and a second year PhD student in the biological sciences department. And so I'm also willing to share any experiences as well. And I'll pass it over.
Hi, I'm Nikita. I'm a second year PhD student in nanoengineering, and although I'm not like a part of any organizing committee or student hours, but I do love attending almost all possible events and all of them, so I can help answer the questions from the other side of attending and exploring all these events.
Okay, next slide, please. So we have some prepared questions. We can start with a broad one, and panelists, please feel free to chime in. And so the first question is, what is the most challenging part of adapting to UC San Diego?
I can go. I mean, I feel like a lot of people's common response would be to find a community. Um, but I guess I'm speaking for other people because me personally, though, I think it's great that these organizations, usually in the beginning of the academic year, they are holding countless events and being welcoming to so many people. And so those are ways that you can find your community. You just kind of have to take that initiative to put yourself in that space, be brave and get to know people, and then find your people through that way. But yeah, that's my answer.
And to bounce off finding communities, also finding your way around campus. I worked at UC San Diego for 5 years before starting graduate school, and I still got lost and was running around trying to get to places on time. And you'll see once you're here, we also offer, we have a partnership with the Spin Scooter. So there's options to get you from point A to point B in a quicker way than having to walk across an entire campus because our campus is fairly large. But it's very lively. And so I think that also is nice for the student experience to be able to see all the undergraduates as well and graduate students in the same community.
I used the spin scooter just this morning to get to lab because the shuttle is on a spring break schedule. So but it's really convenient to get around campus. Does anyone else want to chime in on the challenges before we move on to the next question?
So one for me, the biggest challenge was the price ticker on things here because it's one of the most expensive places to live. And initially, it was a big shocker, but then slowly through all the programs, especially the basic needs, the Titan Food Pantry, and all those resources, they kind of helped me budget my spending for the month. And it was important to like make peace with the cost of living here. So that was my most challenging part.
Okay, so segueing that into what resources, next slide, please. So, what resources provided by the campus eased the adaptation process? Feel free to reiterate the ones that are already mentioned or any new ones that we may have missed.
The one thing I think was very helpful was the GPS. Like usually when I first entered, I did not know about it. I missed all the webinars. I didn't know about all the organized student talks. I used to just walk on the library walk for the first few months. And there were a lot of undergrad events which I was like, should I attend? Should I not? And then I met like the Japan GPSA specific events and the grad events UCSD and I events. Those were the two websites that I heavily relied on to find the events to go to. And those were my favorite two resources in the beginning.
So, let's go to the next slide, please. So, beyond the classroom, how would you describe your experience as a grad student in UC San Diego?
I think I was mentioning that the campus is very lively. I think we have a wonderful campus um, for building a community and finding friends. As an adult, it's difficult to find friends, and I didn't realize how many close friends I was going to make in the program. I think bouncing off of what Nikita said, going to these events is super, valuable because that's where you get to meet people from different departments that maybe you don't interact with. I'm biological sciences and met some wonderful people from literature, and I get to learn a little bit also outside of my field. So that has been pretty great. Just seeing the diversity of students that are on campus and all the different disciplines has been pretty.
Yeah, and for me, I am actually originally from the East Coast. And so when I moved to San Diego before I started graduate school, I was working for 2 years in San Diego, and I will admit that it's really hard finding friends as an adult. But as soon as I got into this program, though, your cohort is your immediate friends. These organizations are immediate friends, and I've never had a day now where I'm questioning what to do today or who to hang out with because there's always an outlet to do so. And so I really do think that it's true that you can find a community here. And so it's great to see such a welcoming experience outside of like the classroom. And also a lot of the PIs and instructors and these faculty are really welcoming and helpful when it comes to first time researchers. And so I'm also getting countless help on like how to maneuver through research for the very first time for me. So that's also been great.
I would like to add on a little bit to that. Uh, getting to graduate school, I kind of lost out on a lot of my hobbies throughout the years. And after I came to UCSD, all these different kind of events cater towards like certain hobbies like crafts and those the dance night there was like bachata dance night and then there's line dancing social, so it has helped me a lot to like get in touch and rediscover the lost hobbies, and that has become a very big part of my identity outside the classroom. And to top it off, there are a lot of resources on campus to prioritize your mental health. Like for example, my lunch breaks, I head out to Zone, which is like a area and price center, and they have some sort of activities like almost every day. So that kind of helps me take a mental break from my lab and refresh afterwards in the afternoon. So it's really good.
Okay, next slide, please. Keeping in with the theme of the outside of classroom activities, what extracurricular activities did you get involved in UCSD? I know Jocelyn mentioned a lot of us have dual roles here, so please feel free to speak to some of those or any others that may have not been mentioned already.
Something that I'll add is that I am involved in the GPSA as the chair of the Basic Needs Committee, but before that, much like Jocelyn, I was a representative for my department. So all departments here at the university elect or appoint representatives to represent themselves at the GPSA Council, where again, big decisions are made on how the GPSA is going to spend funds to provide for the students, whether that be, travel grants or basic needs resources or social events, etc. And I think it's a really great place to get involved because you get to see kind of the every part of the campus community. You get to be in part of with all the professional staff, all the administrators, all the different departments, and come together to make these decisions. And that was super insightful and also impactful, I think, to be able to be a part of that. So highly would recommend looking into getting involved with the GPSA when you're here, because that in itself is responsible for helping curate and create a lot of this community.
I can throw out a fairly unusual one. So I mentioned the campus is large. We expand even up to the coast. So we have the Scripps Institute of Oceanography. I'm a biologist and I don't study anything marine related, but with SIO, I have been able to pick up on my swimming. They have a scuba diving. So if you want to try that out when you're here, right next to the ocean, they have a scuba diving program, and so they start you when you apply for this program, you can be from like very minimal swimming skills, but they put you through programs to teach you how to swim, build those skills, and then you get to dive with scientists. That's like the ultimate goal, is to bring in more people in the community. So that's probably been one of my not most rewarding, but very in the top list of rewarding experiences that I've had as a graduate student. Never thought I would be doing that in my current program.
Okay, next slide, please. Regrets. What are some things you regret not having done yet as a UC San Diego student?
I'll admit it straight away. The nature, like we're literally 5 feet from the ocean and beaches, and I go maybe like once a month. Um, and so, I mean, I'm only in my second year, so I have time to maybe heal from this bad habit. But that's my first immediate regret, is just being able to just explore San Diego.
For me, I haven't gone to the Fallen Star yet. Like, I know everyone who comes here, the first thing like they do when they are visiting campus is go to the Fallen Star. But I haven't. It's been 2 years. I hope to do it soon.
I haven't done it either, and it's been 5 years. It's on my list too.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what that is.
It's
We need to go
the
together,
yeah.
Jocelyn.
But I feel like the reason is, I mean, at least for me, I'm just a pure homebody, and so I really just enjoy being in lab and then going home and being at home. But I think going to a school where it's by the beach, it provides that outlet, that push. If it was like in the middle of nowhere, it would be much harder to do those things. So.
Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. Okay, what piece of advice would you give to an incoming international graduate student or a graduate student in general?
I can go first. So for international graduate students, when you're trying to build community, there's a lot of parts of your identity which you may not have been expressing before. So it is important that you do things alone, like not be afraid to go to events alone without knowing anybody. And if you keep, it's a very intimidating feeling at first, but when you do that 3 times, give yourself 3 tries, and you'll see that you're getting more comfortable with it. And that's how I feel like helped me the most in terms of building connections. It was very scary at first. I did not know anybody. I used to just go to events without knowing, but slowly it gets better.
And so I'm not an international student, but I've had the privilege to mentor international students through the Grad Pals program. So I highly recommend, joining the program, because I've had students that I had one student that ended up joining our research lab, and their field was fairly different than what we do as biologists. And I think it was a two-way learning experience where we got to learn from his expertise and vice versa. We are now, friends. We text all the time, and it's pretty great to have built connections through the program that Sai runs.
I think something I would add, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record a little bit, but I would really make use of all the resources available to you when you come here. I mean, there are so many resources, way more than we can really talk about. I mean, I can talk about basic needs ones if we'd like to, but there are so many more that are available to you. We recently saw some data that really shows that students, as they stay here year over year over year, make use of more and more resources, and we think it mainly comes down to them discovering those resources year over year. And so really take the time to look at what's available for you, listen to kind of the information we've given today, and really make use of them, because they're there to help. And I think the thing that most people do is they just don't make use of what's available to them.
Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. So this is the final prepared question that we have. So it says the activity or place that one should not miss while being at UCSD. But please feel free to take this question as to bring up anything that we may have missed or anything you wanted to plug. So it's free. So please chime in. Or any concluding thoughts.
I have a San Diego fun one. I know it's really difficult to get tickets to Comic Con, but when it's here in San Diego, and you go to downtown, it's actually really cool to see people in different costumes. So different anime characters, superheroes, and it's very lively. A lot of the local restaurants and bars will also do themes. So if you like comics, if you like watching anime, if you like anything like that, it's really great and a very unique experience to be able to see so many people from around the world come and get together. And also the costumes are really cool.
I have one fun thing. So I used to take the grocery shuttle to do grocery shopping, but I recently realized that there are some spots where you can go to the beaches directly. Like, for example, I used to go to Aldi to shop, and there's a bus that directly goes. The end stop is like the crystal pure Pacific Beach, and on weekends it's so lively. And I've been doing it every weekend since I found out about this route. So just be sure to explore random places, and you never know what place might become your favorite one. For me, it's the crystal pier, like at the Pacific Beach. It's pretty.
Yeah, I guess for me, I can do a one local one. I guess there's a lot of beaches in La Jolla that are really pretty because it's really cliffy, not like just like sand and ocean. And so I highly recommend literally just every sunset you can just go. But even just beyond San Diego, California is great with national parks. And so like on your times off on the weekends, like you have the opportunity to also easily go to these national parks and visit. So
Okay, so we have one question in the Q&A. It says, "Hello, I wanted to know if you would recommend getting the meal plan available for graduate students based on the price and the amount of meals that it covers." Does anyone on the panel want to speak to that?
I don't know, 'cause I mean, I feel like it's not really common for graduate students to get meal plans. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of people just
Yeah,
tend to eat
that was
outside,
my
like
impression too. Yeah,
bring
yeah,
in food, go grocery shopping. I feel like it's more of like an undergraduate thing because they actually live on campus to do so.
yeah.
So I feel like the norm is to just plan outside of campus to eat and bring it here too as well.
Okay, so with that, let's close the panel. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And with
I
that, let's
Can
pass it on.
I
Oh,
chime
yes.
in? I have one more question I want to pass along. So at our previous webinars, we've had students, so our previous webinars have covered some of like the academic student employment opportunities at UC San Diego. So being a teaching assistant, a graduate student researcher, things like that. And some of the questions have come up have been around how to best navigate your department. So what is the etiquette around emailing professors, how to best network, how to find different opportunities, how knowing that that can look so different even within UC San Diego. I would love to hear from some of the folks on the panel what have been their takeaways as they have come to UC San Diego, navigated the different departments, navigated kind of the culture within your department. Any reflections you have to share? That was a really common. We had received a lot of questions around that topic at previous webinars, so I would love to hear folks touch on that if possible.
I think this will be so this answer may not be as specific as you're looking for, but I think it might be the most helpful one I can think of. And it's that for each of these programs, there are graduate coordinators, right? And these are professional staff that are really going to be very helpful point of contact between the students and the faculty, or the students and the department heads, the students and the administrators in the department. And I think, because it is different from department to department to department, that any advice you hear from, I think, any of us could apply or not apply. But the advice I think is pretty constant is reach out to those graduate coordinators. I know in particular for biology, they are wonderful. They are great human beings to connect with and talk to, and they genuinely take an interest in your well-being and making sure that you have the resources and information needed to be successful. So I would just really advocate that if you're in your department wondering, do I reach out to this faculty member? Do I email them coldly? Do I try to get an introduction? Reach out to that graduate coordinator, and they're going to help you get a lot more insight than I think we might be able to provide on what is the best etiquette, what is the culture to navigate.
Okay. I used to like within my own department, it was easy when you are like a PhD student compared to a master's student because we come with the PI like paired up. But let's say you're a master's student, you don't want to be only in your department. Like I'm in a department where it's very multidisciplinary. So what I used to do to network and to learn about the professor's interest early on was attend these seminars. Every department has seminars, and you will be in the newsletter for your home department. But let's say you're not. For example, I'm in nano engineering. I want to know what's happening in biological sciences or bioengineering. There's a very easy loophole and trick. Go to the physical building, and they have posters of the seminars. Take a picture and attend, and that's the best way to like network. Because a lot of the similar interest people, professors are there, and you never know, you might even meet a postdoc in the lab that you might be interested in, and that's the best way to strike up a conversation.
Just to quickly add to Nikita's point, yeah, you can go to physical billing, or I've also found it useful to just email a program coordinator from a program of my interest to be like, hey, can I just be added to your mailing list? And they usually are very helpful with that. So that would help as well. Grace, I'll leave it to you now for the outro slides.
Thank you. And if I can, the student panel is just the best part of this presentation. And so I just find myself wanting to make the most of it. If anyone has any thoughts on, we have a question that's how difficult is it for a grad student to get a TA or an RA position, and any advice you would give to a student seeking a position like that? I don't know if anyone has any advice to share.
I guess the advice I would give is that it is department specific from who I've talked to. When I talk to other graduate students, it is very department specific. Some departments, it's much easier to get a TA-ship than others. But the thing that I would point out that might be a good tip or trick is I know that there are some departments that have agreements or yeah, agreements with other departments that say, hey, if you have students that need a TA and we have open courses for our department, reach out to us and we'll take those students to TA for them. And so I would just make sure you're talking with your grad coordinators, with the administrators in your program and say, hey, if there's no courses available in my department, are there other departments that are willing to take students from our program to TA? And they, oh, yes, of course. And then maybe that'll give you a little bit of extra kind of availability and courses to look for. I think that's the tip I would give.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of your insight. Um, uh, okay, unfortunately, that is the end of our time together today. For folks who have additional questions, one resource I might recommend is GradPals. Here I am, shamelessly plugging it. But that is your opportunity to really be able to ask questions of your peers and kind of understand some of these questions that you all are submitting in the Q&A. So, if you miss your opportunity today, some of our panelists are GradPal mentors themselves. Wow, lucky you. You could be that mentee. Additional resources when it comes to UC San Diego and ISEO. Okay, so we mentioned this previously. We have a couple of guides that we've put together. We know that we provide a lot of information and it can be a little overwhelming. So to make it a little bit more digestible, a little bit more aesthetic, we have two guides that I like to highlight. One is our welcome guide that breaks it down into actions to take right now, preparing for arrival and upon arrival. So you can use that almost as a checklist as you go through your international student experience. And then we already covered our surf check guide, but thank you, Marie. She also is putting some of those links in the chat. If you're kind of curious, I know a lot of our students are wanting to envision what is my life going to look like in San Diego? What is it going to be a snapshot of how can I picture myself as an international graduate student living in San Diego, going to UC San Diego? I think our Instagram actually does a great job of that. So if you're a little curious about like how do I envision myself, feel free to give us a follow. We also do tend to do some giveaways for our new incoming students during this time of year. And so we would love to engage with you there as well. Some important deadlines. So two action items that you can take advantage of now. Requesting your visa immigration documents through iServices, so iservices.ucsd.edu, and applying for on-campus housing. So we had previous pre-arrival webinars that went into this in pretty great detail. You can reference all of those at inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu. But those are action items that, one, you want to get your visa to be able to come to the US, and two, you usually want to lock down housing. Those are two action items that our international graduate students really are eager about. I'll also note that many of you have had questions about accessing different systems at UC San Diego. We are experiencing a new rollout of a new student information system called Triton Student System, or TSS. With those delays, we have had delays in having the credentials to access some of these platforms. So if you find that you are experiencing delays yourself in accessing certain platforms, One piece of advice I would give is try to find the department on campus who's responsible for that. So, for example, is there a way to email student health services directly? And I shared that in the Q&A. Or reaching out to the Career Center if you're interested in handshake opportunities. We're a very large campus here at UC San Diego, but we do try our best to work collaboratively. So even if we are not the right department that handles that platform, we will try to connect you with the folks who are. Okay, a friendly reminder from HDH or our on-campus housing, dining, and hospitality. Apply early for sure. But do note that housing contracts aren't typically sent out until mid-May because these offers are typically made 60 days prior to the requested move-in date. So if you apply early but don't hear anything for a while, that's okay. That's normal. You can check in with the housing team, but we do like to remind folks about that. In July is your deadline to submit required health immunization requirements. And so I think that's July 14th specifically. We also had a webinar that covered insurance requirements and if you want to waive. So go ahead and refer to that webinar with a lot of great resources. And September is our exciting month. So that's usually when you physically arrive, we get to meet you. It's orientation, it's move-in, it's check-in, it's all these things. And we look forward to hopefully meeting you then. So this concludes our webinars specifically for our international graduate students. There are a few webinars in April that we have coming up that will be for both our grad and undergrad populations because it applies to both. So for example, finances and student accounts, campus safety, getting set up in the US. This is our Surf Check Live, so it covers topics like arranging transportation from the airport to campus, setting up a US bank account, setting up a US phone account, all those different pieces that come with starting a new chapter in a new country. And then if you are currently in the US, let's say you did your undergrad program at a US institution and you want to transfer your CVIS record, we will have a webinar focusing on the CVIS transfer process in May. As a reminder, all of these webinars are recorded and posted at inewstudentwebinars.ucsd.edu, and this is also where you can sign up for upcoming webinars. So thank you. I also just want to thank you to our wonderful presenters who stayed on a little bit after to answer some of those questions. We so appreciate being generous with your time and your expertise, and thank you all for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Shauna. Bye.